Hello Toon Army, welcome to another video, and today's video is very positive for you guys in terms of your sort of search for a new number 9. I think we all saw the performance against Liverpool. It was phenomenal, but you just missed that number 9 in the box to put the ball in the back of the net. We'll be discussing it. I think you guys all know who I'm about to name in a couple of minutes time, but before I begin, if you are new here, please hit the subscribe and the like as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. So basically, yeah, the striker is Strand Larsen. I think every single Geordie fan is a fan of Strand Larsen. Today, he even got 2 goals off the bench against West Ham and won the game for Wolves. He really is a good talent. Previously, David Ornstein has reported that a 50 million bid was rejected by Wolves. They're sticking by their evaluation. They don't want him to leave. But today, we had some very interesting developments. Firstly, in the morning, a very well-known Norwegian source, one of the best sources in Norway, came out to say that Newcastle are prepared to meet the valuation of Wolves, which is £60 million. Yes, it sounds like a lot of money, but I thought about it because initially I was like 50 million seems a lot, but I think the striker market is quite dry outside of Strand Larsen. And I think you're getting a player who got 13 non-penalty goals last season. You're also getting a player who is strong, physical. You're getting a player who knows the Premier League already. It's a good signing, and to be honest, David Ornstein did say, because I know some Liverpool fans maybe will watch this and think, oh, we might get ourselves Isak now. He said it's a Wilson replacement. Newcastle are looking for a Wilson replacement, not an Isak replacement. I think as a Wilson replacement, Strand Larsen would be absolutely insane. This same journalist went on to say that sort of Strand Larsen has already agreed terms with Newcastle United. I've also heard that other really good sources out there has said that Strand Larsen wants to move to Newcastle. Fabrizio, David Ornstein, he already sort of personal terms won't be an issue, which is fantastic news for Newcastle United, because I feel as though in the past it's been really difficult getting those personal terms done. And, you know, I think with Strand Larsen, and if you get Whistler as well, that's more than enough. 2 Premier League proven strikers, and Isak can get out the door, because I feel like he's just getting really boring, because we had new developments in terms of Isak and how the ownership went to his house, and he still reiterated that he wants to leave, he wants to go to Liverpool. We get it, all of that stuff. But in Whistler and Strand Larsen, things are looking good. And also today, after the game, let me have a read out to you guys what Vitor Pereira said on Jürgen Strand Larsen. He was like, I know his mind at this moment, but he keeps his mind committed. He's a team player, a top player. Until now, he is our player. Every player has a price. I understand football. It's up to the owners. I don't have a clue. So basically, you know, he's come out to say that Strand Larsen's future's up in the air. It's not up to him. He doesn't know if it's a definitive no, a definitive yes. He knows the owners. If that 60 million valuation is met, which is a lot of money, but it's fair money, Strand Larsen will be out the door. And it's difficult for Wolves because they've now got to start scrambling for a new number 9. I think they're getting somebody from Getafe. I forgot his name, Ufe or something like that. He's renowned to more so play in midfield, so it's a bit odd, but he can play centre forward. But yeah, in terms of replacing Strand Larsen, they're already on it. They're already planning for it. They're already selling sort of silver to Dortmund. So Wolves are generating income to spend big on a number 9, and whether that number 9, you know, is going to mean that he's going to play with Strand Larsen or whatever. But Wolves are looking actively in that market. And I think the striker position is one of the hardest to find. I think Wolves made a really good move for Celta Vigo's Strand Larsen at the time. And now to be able to make, I think it will be a 30 to 40 million profit in the same window. As owners, you've just got to accept it. And I think Newcastle have shown they've got money there. They have the ability to be able to spend it. And they're happy to spend it. But for sure, you know, I was watching the game today, Wolves against West Ham. And I looked at Strand Larsen. I was like, this is a proper 9, a proper goal-scoring 9, and he's got the ability outside the box to do some magic too, because ultimately, you know, you can be a striker and you can score goals, but you're going to need to help your team outside the box as well. I think we saw under Alexander Isak that he can do a lot of stuff outside the box, whether that's with his tight dribbling or his connecting play. He was really good at that. But with Strand Larsen, he's more traditional. You can put a ball into him and he can try and hold it up. He's still young as well. I think I'll be right in saying, I always get this wrong, he's either 23 or he's 26. I don't know why I keep on thinking he's either one of those two ages. Probably should have read up on a bit on that. But he is relatively young for a striker. You know, most strikers really peak around 28, 29. So even in that sort of analysis of him, he's somebody who's young but experienced and strong, knows the division, like I've said, and somebody who can come in and start straight away. And I think we've got to be honest, Anthony Gordon He gets that red card, not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. And it means Newcastle United aren't going to have any 9 other than Asula, who I'm a massive fan about, by the way. I was making a couple of videos earlier in the summer talking about Asula and how it's his season. The season where Howe needs to trust him. That goal was one where he really poached. He was really alive. He was really quick onto the scene. I think that's what you can get from Asula. He's a big presence as well. He's got a big frame. So you can't count him out, but I think a lot of Newcastle fans agree with the idea that he's more suited to being a left wing rather than a focal point. He can go a bit, ghost-like in games when he's in the 9 position, but when you're left wing, you get to feel the ball a lot, and I feel like Asula enjoys to be in possession of the football. We've seen a lot of his goals where he can cut in from the right side and shoot with his left, and cut in from the right and shoot in with his right. The left, sorry, and shoot with his right. So he has those different strings to his bow, and I feel like if you get yourself a front line with, this is the scenario that Isak does stay in the end of Isak, Strand Larsen, Asula for the whole season, that's phenomenal. Then going into next summer, you're looking at your Samus to come in maybe, or you're looking at maybe, you want an older profile like an Ollie Watkins. There's options there for Newcastle United. They're going into next summer with already a really good 9 who would have developed well over the season playing Champions League football. And they'd still be able to sign someone else next summer. So that's what the best case scenario is with Isak staying, who'd still contribute to a really high level. He's a great footballer. But if Isak does go and you get Wisser in and you get Larsen in and then you have Asula as well, that's not half bad. Like I said at the beginning of the window, I think that's a really, really strong strikers group. Would I say it's one of the best in the league? No. But I will say it's one of the safest in terms of you can bet on those guys. You can bet on those guys to score because they've done it. They've done it. I think this is the problem when you're banking on someone else. Benjamin Sesko, I think, is one of my favorite number 9s, but you can already see the pressure is there. You can already see what the media is saying. He hasn't really even got, full 90 minutes under his belt, and everyone's saying that he's a flop. And you can tell he's going to need time to adjust. And I feel like Newcastle United at the minute, 1 point from 2 games, a really good performance against Liverpool, a strong showing against Aston Villa, getting someone Premier League proven, somebody who knows where the back of the net is, somebody who's motivated. I think that was a common theme coming out of the Newcastle players like Bruno Guimaraes. She was like, we're motivated to play for Newcastle United. Not Lewis Hall, but Hall, came out to say that he's motivated as well. I think it is Lewis Hall, sorry. But yeah, he came out to say he is motivated. He wants to play for Newcastle United. Tino Livramento, the performance he put in yesterday, superb. And you're looking at the new signings like Anthony Lang. I think Malik Thiaw was phenomenal when he came on as well. And it's a bit unfortunate that goal, it got caught out on his side of the pitch with Livramento having to tuck in. But I thought Malik Thiaw showed he's going to be a really, really good signing. Then you're looking at across the pitch, Jacob Ramsey came on really, really strong. I feel like Newcastle United's window won't look that bad once you get Strand Larsen in and hopefully Wisser in, because there was a domino effect with that sort of Fabio Silva is going to go to Dortmund. Brentford want to sign Maximilian Bayer, who's at Dortmund. And then Wisser can go. That's the domino effect that could possibly happen for Wisser to get his dream move to Newcastle United. But for sure, things are looking up. Great performance yesterday. See you later, Toonami.